Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you'd like to win 60 minutes of one-on-one coaching with me, comment below "it is done." Winners are announced every week. In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can effortlessly manifest your desires. The art of effortless manifestation. This is an art form that we're all striving to embody, integrate, and align with all the time. All of us are in this kind of infinite journey of tapping into our own inner power to create the external reality we desire. And not only the external reality, but the internal reality, our relationship with life itself, and how we feel in our state of being in a moment-to-moment basis. This is a journey we're all on. But the key of this video is that applying some of these techniques and kind of just letting the insights soak into your being, doing both of these things will put you on the best and most optimum pathway to manifest effortlessly. Now this means that things can show up in your life that you desire, that you seek, that you resonate with. But not only that, you will welcome in more inner peace, love, joy, and even bliss. So that is the prize, I suppose, of applying this information. Now, I humbly acknowledge I'm on this path with you. I'm applying all of these things on a daily basis. And what I can say is that it does absolutely work. And effortless manifestation is not a mere fantasy. It's actually a true possibility. And even further, I would say it is a natural way of life and your birthright to experience. So as we get into this idea of effortless manifesting, let's first recap what manifesting is. What does it really promise? So in my eyes, in my definition, manifestation is the recognition that we are really infinite beings. We are infinite points of consciousness. We are connected to the source consciousness, but we are individuated expressions of the source. The source consciousness creates absolutely everything. This is what spiritual awakening or enlightenment reveals. It's an infinite, non-dual field of possibility. So all possibilities exist, and you are one such possibility. But as an extension of the source, or as an individuated spark of the source, you have certain creative capacities, just as the source consciousness does itself. These creative capacities include imagining and using certain thought frequencies, altering your frequency of consciousness at large, and in doing so, influencing what phenomena can arise in your experience of life. Your experience of life, of course, is yet another state of consciousness, another expression of your infinite self. So in harnessing our kind of inner state of being, our frequency of consciousness, doing this, practicing this consciously creates your reality. So if you imagine a scene, you can harness the essence of that scene and crystallize it into a physical form. That's what manifestation is. So effortless manifestation, what would that be? Well, this is where we take the notion that manifesting has to be hard, lots of struggle, lots of focus, lots of straining, any of these notions that make it seem rigid or like a difficult process, and letting go all of those kind of difficult, rigid kind of definitions, and entertaining the notion that it actually can be very effortless, very easy, very free-flowing, and that things can pop up in your life. Your desires, your dream reality can kind of pop up around you very seamlessly, joyfully, excitingly, simply by you recognizing and harnessing more of your true power. That's what effortless manifestation promises. Now, in his books, Dr. David R. Hawkins talks about how in many cultures, especially in the West, we're programmed to believe that hard work is necessary to create results. We must believe in this notion that hard work is necessary. We must slog and flog ourselves, and that's how results pop up. We believe we have to earn it as if we're not already perfect beings, divine expressions of the source. But it's this sense that it is necessary to feel that there has to be a struggle along the process as you take actions to create results. What he suggests is that as we expand our consciousness, rest in alignment, and open up the infinite dimension within ourselves, we start to not only uncover the inner love and perfection of our true selves, of our true essence, but from this flourishing of that experience of life, that dimension of ourselves, we then start to allow the possibility that we deserve whatever we want without having to fight for it. We can simply align with that reality, allowing life to unfold and carry us there from this position of trust and unshakable faith in our true creative power and divine essence. So this is what he proposes, is a certain shift. And that again kind of emboldens this idea that perhaps our lives can be more effortlessly fun, that we can almost magically just create the external reality we seek. Now, as I sort of talk about Dr. David R. Hawkins's notions that life can be effortless, that we can spontaneously just create things based on our own perception, our own state of consciousness, etc. I remember reading that, and I'm kind of recalling that when I read that, it felt misaligned. Because I always loved the idea of action. I always loved the idea of working hard. In fact, I was a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and read his both biographies and loved his attitude and work ethic and that sense of discipline and virtue. And that still inspires me to this day. So what I want to assure you is that you don't have to lose that beautiful sense of discipline and the beauty and excellence in that state of mind. But what we're really talking about is in this kind of virtuous expression as you create your life, not to add additional suffering. And we're not also undermining any sense of struggle or drama or the story that's unfolding in your life. Because if you've been through a lot, and a lot of us have, right? We've been through a lot to create our lives, and we want to feel that we earned that, and that's beautiful and fine. And in a sense, you have earned it. But what I am suggesting is that you've always been worthy of the right to feel at peace with yourself at all times in your life and create from that space. So I want to emphasize this is a journey for all of us. I'm along this journey with you in this very moment. But what I want to next point out is consider life being always effortless. As in, can you stop the flow of life ever? Can you stop the present moments flowing one to the next, to the next, to the next? If you squeeze really hard and try and stop it, can you stop life? Or is life always flowing effortlessly like water flows in a stream? It just keeps going. It is effortless. Life is effortless. And also consider, what is life? It's an expression of infinite consciousness. And that's your ultimate essence. So you really are life itself, and thus your effortless expansion, expression, evolution, beingness, presence, flowing at all times. So when we select our desire, it's like we have this powerful flashlight and we turn on the light. We turn on that torch, that flashlight, and that light beams straight towards our dream reality, straight towards our desire. And we hold it there. And all we need to do is walk in a straight line, following that light as it guides us directly to our desire. That's how life can be. You just follow that torchlight that you're holding. That is you, that source of light. It feels so good because you can see where you're going. You simply need to walk one step at a time, exist one moment at a time, and follow that light of love within you. A divine sense of guidance that's fueling you in your inspiration and excitement and joy in each moment. But what we do, and this is not really our fault, it's just how we've been conditioned, is that when we turn on that flashlight and we select our desire, and it feels so good in that moment, we start to question and get in the way of that good feeling state, of what we've chosen, of what we've decided to activate by turning on that torchlight. And so what we do, it's like one hand is holding it there, feeling really good, aligning that light, beaming it on the direction we need to go in, towards what we want. And then it's like the other hand lets go of the torch, and we start doing that over our own torchlight, being like, is it right? Is that right? Is it right? And as we do that, we block off the light. We keep blocking off the light, and we create shadows. And when a shadow pops up and we hold our hand over the torchlight, we can't see where we're going, so we stumble a little bit. And then the torchlight comes back on, we feel really good. And then we don't trust it again, and we put our hand over it again. And we keep blocking the natural light, the natural guidance, the effortless impulse towards our dream realities. We do it with our own hand. Now, in this analogy, the hand is perception. It's the art of entertaining certain thoughts and perspectives that don't feel good, that invoke fear within us, or any other negative emotion. And I'm guilty as this, as anyone really. And of course it can be challenging in some sense to stop letting these thoughts flow into our stream of consciousness and block out that beautiful light that's effortlessly guiding us where we need to go. It's difficult to stop those thoughts or to trust beyond them, to just simply trust for trust's sake, to have faith in that divine feeling that this is right, this intuition that I can create, that there is only infinite abundance, that everything will pop up at the right time. But what we can recognize is that if somehow we can find that ability to trust and to let go and surrender, the torchlight shines on. And it's very simple in that state of being. It then simply comes down to following what feels good in each moment and dealing with each moment one step at a time. Because what you'll notice is that when bad thoughts appear in your field, you feel bad. You feel all kinds of bad feelings. And when good thoughts appear in your field, you feel really good. You feel empowered. You feel abundant. You feel unstoppable. You feel aligned. You feel at peace. You feel joy and love. And also, when there are no thoughts at all, what do we feel? The same. Positive feelings. States of being. They just shine through. And that's a clue that it's because it's what we really are. We're divine love and form. And so we can use positive thoughts to feel good, and we can use them to feel so good that we can let go of all thoughts. And that, again, just brings us into pure presence. And in that presence is all of the positive feelings of knowing and trust and expansion in that direction toward your desire that you could ever ask for. All the divine wisdom and impulses and freedom to express and handle life perfectly is right there as we just let go. Entertain those thoughts that make us feel good, and then even then, when we feel so good, we let those thoughts go. We don't even need thoughts. We can simply be. And then that's when we start to taste the truth that life can be effortlessly good. Because as we think good thoughts, or as we simply be in our good feeling state, which is naturally who we are, things just pop up in your life to reflect that. You project that in your field of consciousness. We go back to trusting that all we need to do is to hold that light and allow it to shine to the direction we want. And to know that if we can emotionally connect and see and are inspired to create that dream reality, whatever that is, then it must exist. It exists as another possibility of the infinite us. So all we need to do again is just to be that light. Feel good, trust it, and flow one moment at a time. So how do we do this? Because thoughts pop up again, don't they? We've been culturally programmed to believe fearful, doubtful, negative thoughts, that we're small, that we're not big, that we're not infinite, that we're not divine, but we're small. We're tiny biological creatures, insignificant in a harsh, physical, mechanical universe. So we better fear, we better cling to scarcity and be small and not let go, but tighten up. But that doesn't feel good because it's not the truth. The truth feels like infinite love. Again, I'm working on this with you. But I have experienced infinite love, and when it shines through you, it's just so beautiful. It's just the most beautiful feeling you'll ever feel in your entire life. And when that divine light shines over your being, in that moment it all makes sense that this is how reality and life can be. Just pure, effortless presence, in alignment, feeling good, dealing with life in the present moment, trusting so deeply in the divine unfolding of things, whilst simultaneously trusting that your intentions are clear. And it's basically feeling so good that life then just pops up around you. When you taste the dimension of infinite love, that's what shines through as the truth. Again, how can we prove it? It's a state of consciousness. But you can feel it. Maybe you can't. But I always could feel and intuit the spiritual truth that love is all that exists. I always could. And as you again fuel that truth, that possibility, that dimension, opens up to you. It opens up to you because that's what manifestation is once again. Even infinite love, the realization and recognition of who you truly are, your true essence, even that can be manifested by simply putting it into your focus, energizing it and surrendering and trusting to that, feeling really good that that will dawn upon you, and then that will even allow you to trust and become an even more abundant, powerful creator for your more physical desires, your relationships, your finances, your career, anything else. So it starts with recognizing that although we're being programmed to kind of play it small and cling to thoughts that make us feel bad, but at least they feel safe, right? Because if I just let go, that's all chaos could break loose. I remember that's how I often feel. Like I can just feel good. I don't trust this. It's not uncommon. But what we can do is, even if we're not quite bought in yet, we can just at least, with that grain of faith, give ourselves permission to feel better and better. Knowing we don't have to be perfect, but just acknowledging that I, in this moment, have the free will, the divine free will to say, I give myself permission to feel better and better. Which means to think better thoughts, to imagine better and most positive scenes about life, my dream reality that I can, to do all that. And then from that place of alignment, to then just ascend and let go into pure beingness, to embrace your true divinity. You can give yourself permission that this can be your way of life, and that this will then project and manifest everything physical that you can hope for. All the abundance and joy and beautiful things that you can hope for externally. So take charge of your own state of being as best you can. It takes confidence to a degree. It also can take, influences, being around people that are telling you positive things, that are walking this path, and we're all walking each other home, as Ram Dass would say. But to be around people that inspire you, that keep encouraging you and allowing you to feel more love. I know I love communicating with fellow souls and beings and receiving their loving energy and guidance and support, and then allowing myself to also ascend in my own life and state of being. So that can be a part of this. But take charge of that state of being, whichever way you can, and know that your happiness is your greatest gift that you can give. When you're happy, you're helping the world. It's as simple as that. And when negativity arises in the forms of thought or just pure emotion, you compassionately acknowledge it. I just have to feel it. And then, as Dr. David R. Hawkins would say, you surrender it to God or Source. Now I ask myself, what does he mean by surrender? Or what does surrender at least mean for me? So surrender means to me to let go of all effort and to simply be with something. And then what does being mean to me? Well, being means to become infinite love in the present moment, because that's all that reality is. So as you just stop doing anything, you simply be with an emotion or a thought, that state of being of distortion, negativity and friction, you simply be with that. In surrendering to God, it means you're being with it and you're trusting the power of love to soothe and iron out all those creases. It becomes quite simple to just let go and surrender to that divine essence within. And just don't micromanage your life. You don't need to. You simply surrender it. Give it to God. And it becomes easier that way. And as I say, these negative emotions and fears and doubts, etc., these limiting beliefs, limited identity, is simply coming from the inner child or the ego. And it just needs to be soothed. It just needs to be bathed in God's love. More and more and more and more. In the Source's love, if you don't like God. The one infinite creator's love. It just needs more of that love to soothe its wounds. And then that will create more and more alignment. And thus more effortless beingness and manifestation of everything you could hope for in your life. And as I said before, you can use thoughts as springboards. I'm going to make a whole video on this, but it's the sense that you can still use thoughts, so you can still identify with them, fuel positive thoughts as they kind of loop around your consciousness. And if they're making you feel good, I found that you can actually kind of create this kind of spiral, and the spiral so fast of positive thoughts that's almost like a trampoline, and then all of a sudden you just spring off it and you let go of all thoughts into pure beingness, into pure good feelingness, a good feeling state. So you can use positive thoughts still to ascend into this effortless being and feel good. That's what manifests. Then, of course, is to meditate. And this is something you can do daily for 20 minutes to an hour, is usually somewhere between that. It's good. And this simply helps you become aware of thoughts that are playing out, that are causing certain negative states of being, emotional states, and perpetuating a sense of fearful, limited states of being, scarcity beliefs about reality, and just kind of the notion that it has to be hard and rigid, that manifestation cannot be easy, your life cannot be effortless, or even that you're not worthy of that, or it's absurd, or anything like that. Catching those thought loops out helps to let them go, set them free, and become more conscious in your empowerment of certain thought frequencies. And then you can, again, use your power of perception to define everything in positive ways. So again, this is using the power of thought. But recognize that as we simply pause for 2 to 5 seconds, which is a technique I learned from Bentino Massaro, but you pause for 2 to 5 seconds, and when there's no interpretation of reality, it's completely still and pure. And from this recognition, it then dawns upon you that to have a thought about something, or opinion or perspective about something, you have to give it that. But life itself is simply effortlessly flowing. It's like water down a stream. There's nothing saying a situation has to be good or bad. We give it that definition, often at a cultural and collective level, but we take those cultural and collective beliefs about certain appearances of consciousness, within consciousness, and we give them meanings that make us feel bad. But what we can do is take anything in our external world, especially the ones that are seemingly should be defined as negative, and give them a positive definition towards your dream reality, towards what you want. So a simple example would be, if a negative emotion comes up within me, I say, fantastic, that means I'm embodying more divine love. This is a sign of divine love, being embodied more and more within my frequency and state of being. Whereas I would traditionally be programmed to feel that negative state and go, why am I feeling this way? This is really bad. Isn't this creating a bad reality? Isn't this disrupting my effortless connection and alignment with what I'm trying to create? Or, oh, I'm still broken. I'm still experiencing negative things. Are you serious? Haven't I healed this by now? What's going on? So that's one interpretation. Or, fantastic. This emotion means more love's coming in. It means the negativity is burning away, so I can have divine positivity flow into the vessel I am of the one infinite creator. Perfect. So that's your power, is to define those experiences in ways that make you feel good, once again. And finally, experience and practice is sometimes key to effortless manifestation. Because sometimes we have to go through a phase where we learn about the theory. Now, I love learning about theory, but I've learned about theory to death. It starts to overwhelm you. It starts to get to this point where you start to just realize, the more I learn, it simply comes down to just testing it out, experience, time, and surrendering. And as you just do this bit by bit as best you can, more and more of those positive results manifest in reality, and you gradually gain more trust. And thus, like a flower, you kind of just blossom into more and more effortless alignment and powerful manifesting of that which you want. So give yourself that time, give yourself that patience, compassion, see yourself with kind eyes, do your best to show up every day, learning about this, applying it, doing these techniques, trusting that you are healing, that you are aligning with this beautiful inner state of being, of alignment, that you can ascend into pure effortless beingness, and that this will, of course, manifest your heart's desires. Give yourself time to allow us to penetrate into all dimensions of yourself and manifest in your external world. Everything you're doing is worthwhile in this journey, so keep going and trust that results come, because it's law of how things work. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the key to effortless manifestation and some of the techniques and discussions about this. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below. And if you'd like to have one-on-one coaching with me, to anchor in more of this love and light, to feel empowered in your ability to create that which you want, just check out my website below, and I would love to have a session with you. Thank you.